Welcome to Live a Supercharged Life, the podcast that ignites your energy and uplifts your spirit. This is your go-to space for navigating love, relationships, and personal growth. Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. You know, we love to get deep into these fascinating topics that could really help us level up. And today, it's all about that will-do attitude.
Ooh, I love this topic.
You see how it can supercharge every part of your life, from your job to relationships to hitting those goals you've always dreamed of.
Yeah, like those big ambitious ones that you've maybe put on the back burner.
Totally. And to help us navigate this, we've got this amazing article that's just packed with research, real-world examples, and actionable steps.
I love that it's not just theory. It's like, okay, here's how to actually apply this stuff.
Exactly. And it's so practical.
Yeah.
So let's just dive right in. What really stood out to me is this idea that a will-do attitude is not just some fleeting positive vibe.
Right. It's not like just putting on a happy face and hoping for the best.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's more like a way of being this inner drive that helps you get things done.
It's like that fire in your belly that propels you forward.
Totally. The article breaks it down into 3 key things: actually taking action, being resilient when things get tough, and seeing challenges as opportunities.
Okay, I love that it's not about avoiding problems altogether. It's about facing them head on, but with this can-do spirit.
Right. It's like turning those roadblocks into stepping stones.
That's a great analogy. But I'm also curious, I love a good dose of practicality, but does this will-do stuff have any scientific backing?
Well, actually, there's some fascinating research from Harvard psychologists about this whole thing.
Okay, Harvard psychologists. Well, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
So they did all these studies on this concept called flow. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I think so. Like when you're so absorbed in something, you lose track of time.
Exactly. You're just completely in the zone. And what they found is that people who experience flow more often, they're not only more productive, but they also report higher levels of happiness.
So it's like a double win. You're getting things done and feeling good where you're doing them.
Exactly, a win-win situation. But the article also acknowledges that we all struggle with something that kind of holds us back.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those sneaky self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah, the ones that tell us we're not good enough or we can't do something.
It's like we have this inner critic that's constantly putting us down.
And these beliefs, they often come from past experiences or fears, but they become these invisible barriers that prevent us from reaching our full potential.
It's so true. We end up holding ourselves back based on these assumptions, not even facts.
Exactly. And the article offers some really cool techniques for overcoming this negative self-talk.
Okay, I'm all ears because I know I need help with this one.
Well, one powerful technique is to actually challenge those negative beliefs head on, like put them on trial.
Oh, I like that. So it's like saying, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Is this thought really true? What evidence do I have?
Right. And often when we examine them closely, those beliefs crumble because they're not based on solid ground.
So it's about replacing those negative thoughts with something more empowering.
Exactly. And that's where positive affirmations come in. It's about consciously choosing to focus on beliefs that lift you up, like I am capable or I have the strength to overcome this.
It's like rewiring our brains, replacing those negative tapes with positive ones.
I love that analogy. And it's crucial for building that will-do muscle.
But it can't just be all about positive thinking, right? Action has to come into place somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. That's where we shift gears and start developing a solution-oriented mindset.
Okay, so this isn't about ignoring problems. It's about tackling them head on, but with a focus on what can be done.
You got it. Instead of asking, why me, it's about asking, how can I solve this?
That's way more empowering. It puts you in the driver's seat.
Exactly. And that's what a will-do attitude is all about. It's about taking ownership and finding solutions.
But let's be real, sometimes those problems can feel so overwhelming. Where does resilience fit into all of this?
Resilience is like having this amazing shock absorber for your mind and spirit. It's that inner strength that helps you bounce back from setbacks, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward.
So it's not about being invincible. It's about being able to bend without breaking.
Exactly. And it's about building up your mental and emotional muscles.
It's like going to the gym for your mind.
I love that. The more you work those resilience muscles, the stronger they become.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether. It's about being equipped to handle them when they inevitably show up.
Precisely. Life is going to throw curveballs our way no matter what. But with resilience, we can navigate those twists and turns with more grace and strength.
Okay, so we've got this will-do foundation. With a positive mindset, we're challenging those negative beliefs, and we're building up our resilience. What's next? How do we actually make things happen?
That's where the rubber meets the road, and our will-do attitude helps us turn those thoughts and beliefs into concrete actions.
So it's not just about dreaming big. It's about having a plan and taking those first steps.
Exactly. And a popular method that the article talks about is SMART goals. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I think so. Remind me what SMART stands for again.
So it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Okay, I remember now.
It's about setting goals that are clear and realistic, they have a deadline, and most importantly, they align with your values.
That relevance piece is so important. If you don't truly care about the goal, where's the motivation, right?
Exactly. It has to resonate with you on a deeper level. And once you have those SMART goals in place, it's all about breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps.
So it's like taking that big, audacious goal and turning it into a series of bite-sized pieces.
And that makes it way less daunting and more achievable, which perfectly aligns with our will-do mindset.
It's like instead of trying to eat the whole elephant at once, you're taking one bite at a time.
I love that. And don't forget about celebrating those small wins along the way. Each step forward, no matter how tiny, is a victory worth acknowledging.
Oh, absolutely. Those little celebrations keep us motivated and build momentum. It's like giving yourself a high five for each step in the right direction.
It reinforces those positive feelings associated with progress, which fuels our will-do engine even more.
This is all making so much sense. But I'm curious, are there any real-life examples of people who've used this will-do attitude to achieve something extraordinary?
Oh, absolutely. The article's full of them. It talks about these authors who got rejected by publishers 33 times.
33 rejections, that's wild.
I know, but they didn't give up. Their book went on to sell over 100 million copies.
Wow, talk about resilience and a will-do spirit. They must have really believed in their work.
Their belief was their superpower. It kept them going even when everyone else was telling them to quit.
So it's not just about positive thinking, it's about taking action, being persistent, and believing in your ability to make things happen.
And you know what? That belief, it's contagious. When you embody a will-do spirit, it doesn't just impact you, it inspires others too.
It's like this ripple effect that spreads positivity and possibility.
Exactly. It's about creating a more positive and empowered environment for everyone.
Now that is inspiring.
It is, and it brings us to another really interesting aspect of this will-do attitude, its impact on our relationships.
Ooh, I'm curious to hear about this.
Yeah.
How does this mindset play out in our connections with others?
Well, when you approach relationships with that will-do energy, you bring that same sense of proactivity, resilience, and solution-oriented thinking.
So instead of getting stuck in those ruts or conflicts, you're looking for ways to move forward together.
Right, and you see disagreements not as battles, but as opportunities for growth and understanding.
It sounds like a game changer for navigating the ups and downs that every relationship goes through.
It can be incredibly helpful. It encourages communication, empathy, and that willingness to find solutions that work for everyone.
It's about creating a sense of teamwork and mutual respect.
Exactly. And even when things get really tough, that will-do attitude helps you maintain hope and see those glimmers of possibility.
It's about remembering that even when you can't control everything, you still have choices in how you respond.
You got it. That sense of agency, that belief that you can influence your life and your relationships, it's so empowering.
Wow, this is all starting to connect now. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious what's resonating with you the most so far.
You know, for me, it's this idea that our mindset is such a powerful tool. We often underestimate how much our thoughts and beliefs shape our actions and outcomes.
Like we have this incredible power within us to create the reality we want.
And for me, what really stands out is the importance of resilience. Life's going to throw those curveballs, but it's our ability to bounce back, learn from those experiences, and keep going that makes all the difference.
That's so true. It's not about avoiding the tough stuff.
Yeah.
It's about having the strength and the tools to navigate it.
And it's not just about individual success either. It's about recognizing that our mindset, our actions can have this ripple effect of positivity on those around us.
I love that. We have the power to make the world a little brighter just by embodying that will-do spirit.
Exactly, and that's a message worth sharing with everyone. All right, so we're back and ready to dive even deeper into this will-do attitude.
Yeah, we laid some great groundwork in the last part talking about, mindset and busting those self-limiting beliefs.
And building up that resilience muscle.
Right, like training for a mental marathon.
Yeah.
But now let's get tactical. How do we actually put this will-do stuff into action?
Let's talk strategies.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Let's start with something I think we can all relate to, procrastination.
Ooh, yeah, procrastination, the ultimate productivity killer.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
But why do we let it get the best of us? What's the psychology behind it?
Well, the article dives into this and suggests that it often boils down to fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, even fear of the unknown.
So we're basically putting things off to avoid those uncomfortable feelings.
It's like a self-sabotage mechanism.
Oh man, that's so true. But the good news is, a will-do attitude can help us break free from that procrastination trap.
Totally. And one technique is to reframe those big, overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable steps.
So it's like instead of looking at the whole mountain, you're focusing on one base camp at a time.
Exactly. This makes it feel less daunting, more achievable, which aligns perfectly with our will-do mindset.
And it helps us stay motivated because we're seeing those little wins along the way.
Right. It's like giving yourself a high five for each step in the right direction.
But let's be real, sometimes procrastination isn't even about big tasks. It's those tiny distractions that pop up throughout the day.
Yes. The enemy of focus.
Like scrolling through social media or getting sucked into those endless email chains.
And that's where self-discipline comes in.
Self-discipline. This sounds like a muscle I need to work on.
It is a muscle, and it gets stronger with practice. The article talks about strategies like time blocking. Have you heard of that?
I think so. It's like scheduling specific blocks of time for certain tasks, right?
Exactly. You create a roadmap for your day and stick to it as much as possible.
So you're being intentional with your time and energy instead of just letting the day run you.
Right, and a will-do attitude helps with that. It keeps you focused on your priorities, even when those distractions come knocking.
It's like having an inner gatekeeper that can say, nope, not today. Distractions. I've got important things to do.
Love that. And speaking of mental filters, the article also mentions the power of mindfulness for building self-discipline.
Mindfulness, right? I thought that was all about meditation and, finding inner peace.
It is, but it also extends to being present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and impulses as they arise.
So it's like catching yourself when you're about to get sidetracked and gently guiding your attention back to the task at hand.
Exactly. And a will-do attitude enhances that awareness. It empowers you to observe those distractions without judgment and choose to stay focused on what's important.
It's like having an internal pause button that lets you assess the situation and make a conscious choice.
And mindfulness can also help manage stress and anxiety, which can be major contributors to procrastination and can really derail our will-do vibes.
That makes sense. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it's harder to find the energy and focus to get things done.
It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks.
Definitely not ideal. And this brings us to another key element of a will-do attitude, developing a growth mindset.
Ooh, yes, growth mindset. This is a game changer.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's about shifting your perspective from viewing challenges as threats to seeing them as opportunities for learning and growth.
So instead of saying, I can't do this, you're saying, I can't do this yet, but I'm willing to learn and try.
Exactly. It's about embracing that yet mentality.
I love that. It's like opening yourself up to possibilities instead of shutting them down.
And it's about seeing obstacles not as roadblocks, but as detours on the path to success.
Like those unexpected adventures that make the journey even more interesting.
Exactly. And it's also about recognizing that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process.
Wait, are you saying that even negative experiences can contribute to a will-do attitude?
Absolutely. Those who achieve great things, they usually face a ton of setbacks along the way. But the difference is they view those setbacks as valuable feedback.
So it's not about letting those setbacks define you. It's about using them as fuel to keep going.
Right, and that's where resilience and a growth mindset work together. They become like two sides of the same coin.
So you're bouncing back from those challenges, and you're also learning from them, using them to grow and evolve.
It's like having this mental compass that keeps pointing you towards growth even when the path gets rocky.
And a will-do attitude is what provides that inner guidance system.
It helps you stay focused on the bigger picture even when things get tough.
Okay, this is all starting to click now. We've talked about overcoming procrastination, building self-discipline, fostering a growth mindset. These are like the essential ingredients for a will-do lifestyle.
They're skills that we can develop with effort and practice. And a will-do attitude is what gives us the motivation to keep going.
It's like building a muscle. The more we exercise our will-do muscle, the stronger it becomes.
And the more capable we become of achieving our goals, overcoming challenges, and living a life that's aligned with our values.
This is so empowering. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring this amazing will-do attitude and how it can impact our own lives. But in this final part, we're going to zoom out a bit.
Yeah, we're going to look at the bigger picture. How does this will-do energy affect the world around us?
So it's not just about personal empowerment. It's about how that energy ripples outward.
It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. When we embody a will-do spirit, it inspires not just ourselves, but everyone around us.
It becomes contagious.
Totally. And it's not about like grand gestures or saving the world. It's about those everyday interactions we have with people.
Those small acts of kindness, words of encouragement, a willingness to lend a hand.
Exactly. Those little things can make a huge difference.
And the article really emphasizes that positive influence isn't about forcing our beliefs on others.
Right. It's not about preaching. It's about leading by example.
It's about walking the talk, showing what's possible when we embrace this will-do mindset.
And by doing that, we create this ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond ourselves.
We become like these little beacons of will-do energy.
I love that. But the article also cautions against something that I think a lot of us struggle with, that tendency to overextend ourselves.
Oh yeah, like saying yes to everything and everyone, even when we're already stretched thin.
And that's where setting healthy boundaries comes in.
Boundaries. In the context of a will-do attitude, that seems kind of counterintuitive.
I know, right? But actually, the article argues that setting clear boundaries is essential for maintaining a healthy and sustainable will-do spirit.
So it's not about saying yes to every request or opportunity.
Right. It's about being selective and intentional with your time and energy.
Knowing when to say no, even to well-intentioned requests.
Exactly. Because if we burn ourselves out trying to do everything for everyone, we won't have anything left to give.
And it also sends a message to others about what we're willing to tolerate.
Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect.
So it's about protecting our time, energy, and emotional well-being so we can continue to make a positive impact in the world without sacrificing ourselves in the process.
It's like putting on your own oxygen mask first before helping others.
I love that analogy. And it reframes boundaries as a form of self-care.
Which is crucial for sustaining a will-do attitude over the long haul.
Makes total sense. And this leads to another beautiful concept that the article explores: the power of service.
Ooh, yeah, this is a big one.
So it's not just about achieving our own goals. It's about using our energy and talents to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions can make a real difference in the world.
And it doesn't have to be about grand gestures or saving the world. It can be about those small acts of kindness, volunteering, or simply using our skills to support causes we care about.
And their article suggests that when we embrace the spirit of service, it actually enhances our own well-being.
Really? So it's like this beautiful cycle. We help others, and in turn, it makes us feel more connected and fulfilled.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
So cultivating a will-do attitude isn't just about achieving our own dreams. It's also about using our gifts to make a positive impact on the world.
It's about recognizing that we all have something unique to offer, and that even the smallest acts of kindness, service, and courage can create ripples that extend far beyond ourselves.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the incredible power of a will-do attitude.
We've covered so much ground, from the science of mindset to those practical techniques for putting that will-do spirit into action, and of course, that ripple effect it can create in the world.
I feel like we've given our listeners a lot to think about, and hopefully a lot to get excited about.
My hope is that everyone listening feels empowered to embrace their own will-do spirit.
To step into their power and start creating the life they've always dreamed of.
And to remember that they have the ability to make a positive impact on the world, no matter how big or small.
It's been an amazing journey exploring this topic with you.
Likewise, I always learn so much from these deep dives.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.
Until then, keep diving deep and keep believing in the power of possibility.
So if you're looking for some amazing tips, some resources, some help with relationships, head over to liveasuperchargedlife.com. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.